Hi friends, it's Amy Frillici from the Gathering Inkspiration Stamp Studio, and today I want to show you this card. It features the Eastern Palace suite of products, and this has been one that we've all had as demonstrators for a little while, so there are tons of awesome projects and ideas out there on Pinterest and YouTube and all over the place. So keep an eye out for those, but this one I had a lot of fun making, and I want to show you how you go about doing that today. First of all, I'm going to actually scoot these things out of the way. I want to show you the products that we use to make these cards. So this is, can you see right here on pages 18 and 19 of our new, I'll show you the new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. Just went live on June 1st, so customers have been able to order just for a couple of days now. And anyway, just so many great fun. It's always so fun to have new products to play with, I think. Just kind of like reinvigorates and re-inspires people. So anyway, you can see here are a bunch of projects that the Stampin' Up! Designers made, and you can kind of see here's actually, that's a rug with kind of an Eastern flair, and then some of the, oh gosh, what are those, peacock feathers, but you kind of get the idea then. All the other projects, if you can see that they show in this display. I'm going to scoot over here. So we are using, this is the Eastern Beauty stamp set, and we are going to use the stamp that says to think of you is to smile, and then that little guy and that little guy we are stamping today. We are also using some of the Eastern Palace Specialty Designer Series paper. The specialty part comes in because there are two sheets that have kind of a gold foil to them. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to try to get real close. There's one that has a Dapper denim and gold stripe, and then another that is a vanilla and gold accents. We are using some of that pattern of paper, and then if I scoot all the way down here, some of this pattern of paper. That's the new Fresh Fig color, and then actually back over here, that is our new Tranquil Tide, one of the other new ink colors. We are also using, and actually that one right there, oops, that flopped on me, sorry about that. We are using that particular framelit, and kind of similar to what they've done right there. Those framelits are from the Eastern Medallion Thinlits. If you can see, you can get those in the bundle with the stamp set and the Thinlits. Thinlits are all displayed on page 216, so you can flip to your catalog and check those out. A couple of other fun products that come in this suite are these really cute tassels that come in the Tranquil Tide, Fresh Fig, and Gold, and then some Eastern Gold vinyl stickers, they're called. And those are really fun too. And can you see how kind of the designs work really well with and kind of complement the designs in the stamp set as well? So an awesome suite of products. It's great right now, and I think kind of based on the colors, I think it's going to be even more fabulous once it gets a little bit colder outside, kind of get to fall and winter. Those kind of, for me, feel like fall and winter colors, but it's been lots of fun to play with. Of course, here in Michigan, it's barely summer too, so I guess it could kind of feel like fall, winter as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to scoot that catalog out of the way and grab my little parts and pieces here for the card. So let's see, where do we want to start first on this card? I think we're going to do, let's see, I hadn't really thought this through. There are kind of a lot of parts and pieces to this. So let's go ahead and do some of the stamping first. I think that's what we're going to do. So I am going to take these guys right here. This piece right here we are going to use to do our sentiment. So typically I would, yeah, I'm going to die cut this first. It's been a little while since I made this card, so I've got to kind of think about what I want to do. But we are going to use, these are, I just put that on there, but this is one of the stitched shapes framelits. So they come in the circles, ovals, and then on the inside, let's see if I can pull these out without them all falling. Well, one fell out. So ovals, circles, and then on the back side are squares. And I think you get, oh, it looks like 4 or 5 of each of them, maybe 4 of each of them. These are wonderful. If you can see on the card itself, that stitching that goes around there, that was an item that Stampin' Up! Pre-released, like actually back I think in November, December of last year, and they just sold like gangbusters. So they are officially in the catalog and available now, and have been for a while. But You'll find them in the catalog, because for a long time people they didn't know where they were because they weren't in the catalog. They were a pre-release from our annual catalog. So we are gonna do, yeah, so I said we're gonna do our stamping first, but I changed my mind already. I'm gonna grab my Big Shot. I've got this guy right here. We are gonna use our magnetic platform. Excuse me, so I'm gonna pop him down on there, one of our clear cutting pads. I'm gonna lay my circle stitched shape framelit on the platform. Actually, as I'm doing that, you know what? We might as well cut both of them at the same time. There's no reason not to, because, let's see, I'll show you these two. These were the Eastern Medallion Thinlits. Can you see that name? And there are a whole bunch of them. I'm gonna pull this out and see if I can't try to, oh, I feel everything falling on the back side. So we are gonna use this framelit right here. You can see how they all layer, and then these guys here too, and you can interchange. So these two could be used over here as well. And then let's see, yep, I lost a few, but you'll see lots of examples. There are a couple of little bitty pieces there, and then these cut and then score, so these little guys kind of pop up. They're very cool. And then there's one more that's probably still in the case. We actually use these on another card that I made recently. You can check out my other YouTube video. You'll see that shape right there and kind of get the idea of what that framelit's gonna do. But we are gonna use this guy right here that I put down on the Big Shot. So I do want to get that. This one doesn't matter because I'm just using the circle, but this guy I do want to get, can you see? I'll move that into the camera a little bit more. I do want to get that lined up because you would think that it's going to cut the circle out, but it doesn't. It kind of cuts all around inside. I have said to people, because these framelits are really interesting, I think you literally just have to take every single one of them and put them on a piece of paper and run them through your Big Shot, because you're a little bit surprised sometimes at what happens. Sometimes they cut, sometimes they just score and they don't cut. I made a card with this framelit that we're using right here, and if you see, I kind of snipped around all of those bits right there, so then that lifted out of this square, which originally is what I thought was going to happen, and it didn't. So that's fine, but anyway, it's just kind of fun. You have to play with them and see what they're going to do, because they're a little bit unusual, not quite as straightforward as we've had in the past. Okay, so I'm going to lift this guy. Oh, I forgot my Big Shot die brush. And you know what? I think I'm going to grab that real quick because I think he could probably use some help coming out of there. This one is going to pop out, no problem. So there's that guy. Can you see that's going to go right on there? Normally I would stamp and then die cut, but you can see it's a pretty tight fit on there. So I wanted to cut that, and then we're going to do our stamping on there. So let me grab my Big Shot die brush. I'll be right back. Okay, here I come. And my puppy Leo, whenever he sees me or hears me running, he thinks, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss out on something, she's leaving. So he hopped right up from where he was sleeping to come see what's going on. But it's okay, buddy, you can lay back down. I'm not going anywhere. He just kind of looks at me like, oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so do you see how great that is? The Big Shot die brush. There's this and then the little foam pad. And then I just kind of ran that over. And it just helps us pop all those pieces. One little random guy wants to be a little bit fussy, but there, can you see? Isn't that awesome? Get that in the light there. So that's that piece right there. Okay, so we'll scoot those guys out of the way. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so now I think we can do our stamping. Yes, I think we're ready to do that. Okay, move those guys out of the way too. Okay, so here we go. What are we gonna do? Let's try this. I'm not going to actually put these on here because if I don't like how this goes, I can always flip it over and do it on the other side. But let's try. I'm going to line those up about where I think I'm going to put those. So let's see, that's got to go down a little bit more, doesn't it? Because I've got to have enough room for you to be able to see those pieces. Okay, what do we think? Does that look, is that going to give me, I'm going to scoot it down a little bit more. Probably that piece goes down a little bit more, that green one, the Tranquil Tide piece. And that one scoots over. The main thing is, because I'm going to be stamping right around here, that's what I'm ultimately trying to get this lined up for. But I think that looks good. Okay, so we're going to grab our new fresh fig ink and this little swirly curly Q kind of a thing. And I better, yeah, this is like way better in theory than it is in reality to not put these on here. And I think I just sat down, but ooh, I'm gonna have to stand up because I need to be able to see what I'm doing and make sure this goes okay. As long as that line is straight across the top, and I think it is. Okay, so nice, easy, tap, tap, tap. Press straight down and straight up. And that's not perfect, but I think that'll be okay. You know, the thing is, what you could do is grab your markers and then color those in too. But let's see if this one, there. That one looks a little bit better. And one more. Move my fingers out of the way. Okay, so that's not too bad. I would probably, I didn't bring them over here and I'm not gonna run back and grab those, but I would grab my marker and just kind of fill those little guys in later. So keep that in mind. I'll be doing that after I turn this video off. Then I'm gonna grab my Tranquil Tide ink, and you wanna be really like delicate when you do that tap, 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 because otherwise you just get ink all over your clear block. And you don't need it all over the clear block, you just need it on your stamp. Okay, so I don't think that's too bad. Like I said, I'm gonna fill that in, so I'll be happy with that. I could flip it over and try it again, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Not today. Okay, then I'm gonna stamp my sentiment in my fresh fig ink. So I've got my "To think of you is to smile." I'm gonna press straight down. There we go. I love the font. I'm all about the fonts. The fonts are so pretty in so many of our stamp sets, just fun. Okay, and then that little diamond guy in our Tranquil Tide ink. I'm gonna stamp one there and one down there. Okay, there. So while this card might have looked a little bit more complicated, you can see it's really not. Now we're at the point where we can kind of build our card. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of our sentiment. Okay, peel those little babies off there. And then this is just going to get centered right on here. I was trying to decide, like, does it matter? I don't think it matters. You know, these aren't necessarily pointing straight up or straight down, but I think that's, you know, somebody else might want to worry more about that, but I'm not going to. So something to keep in mind when you lay your framelit down, because maybe that's not perfectly centered, but seriously, I'm pretty anal and that's not even bothering me. So, okay, I'm gonna grab, so there's the back side of that piece of Eastern Palace Specialty Designer Series paper. Put some adhesive on that guy. Okay, so I'm gonna put him down pretty low here along the bottom. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you all about all the dimensions of these things. Let's do that real quick before I put that any further on here, right? Okay, so I always show you, here's my card base, right? Maybe I have to wake up a little bit more this morning. Okay, so there's my card stock, a sheet of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 11. I cut it in half here at the 5.5, and then I scored it along the 8.5 in half at 4 1/4. And that's what makes the nice crisp fold. I always love to do that because I'm just kind of bone folder challenged, I think. I can't make that nice crisp fold. Some people are really good at it, but it's not me. Okay, so then the vanilla piece, this is kind of my standard layer that I do very regularly. This piece measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then these little strips of Designer Series paper, I'm gonna do this upside down since I already have adhesive on it. This one measures 1 inch, oops, as I'm sticking, yep, 1 inch by 5 1/4 because it's gonna go right across on there. And I'm gonna put that on right now, and then I'll grab the other fresh fig piece and tell you that dimension. I'm just afraid if I put this somewhere, the adhesive is gonna get stuck on something. And then this fresh fig piece of Designer Series paper measures 1.5 by 4 inches. And I'll flip that over, that's the back side of that piece. The only other one that you really need to know dimensions on is this Dapper Denim piece that we die cut our framelit from. And this is 3 by 3, so a perfect square on that one. Okay, so now we can add our adhesive on this piece of, what did I say this was? Fresh Fig cardstock. Okay, and put him on there. Okay, keep building. Now I'm going to put some adhesive in the four corners and across the back of him. And now I'm going to just try to line him up on here. Lay him down. There. All right, I think we're looking good. Now, because this is a little bit heavier, I'm going to grab my fast fuse and use the fast fuse on the full layering, just so it helps it stick to adhere to our card base. And I'm going to layer that guy on there. This one, there's really not a lot of forgiveness, so it feels a little crooked. Let's try. Yeah, I think it was a tiny bit crooked. We're going to try it. Let's see. There, I think that's good. Okay, so there. Does that one look like that one? I think it does. I think I did a pretty good job. I'll keep that one over here because I like the stamping on this one better. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this card. I hope you were inspired today by the Eastern Palace suite of products. Make sure you check out my blog at gatheringinkspiration.com. I will have a blog post on this card that we just made. Obviously, you're watching the YouTube video. All of the details, the supply list, the item codes, everything that you would need to actually make this card are in the details below this YouTube video. So make sure you click on that because it only shows you a little bit, but there's a link to my blog on there, and then also a link to my online store, my Stampin' Up website. If you shop here anytime, Amy Suzanne with a Z .stampinup.net. Make sure you grab the host code that is over on my blog when you shop online at my website. Use that host code, and then I send you a special surprise goodie at the end of each month in your thank you card. And that is a thank you, obviously, from the card for shopping with me, and then the goodie as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this card, and I hope you all have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.